Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
Former Deputy Prime Minister Frank Watson said the decision of some FNM MPs not to seek re-election is a blow to the party. That story straight ahead.
A veteran FNM defends the party after a handful of candidates drop out of the race. That story straight ahead.
What caused those power outages over the weekend? We have the details straight ahead. Plus $30 million in the local fight against Zika. Welcome to our news. I'm Christina McNeil. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, the announcement that 3 Free National Movement incumbents will not run again in the 2017 general election is a blow to the party, according to former Deputy Prime Minister Frank Watson, who said the news sends a message the FNM isn't as stable as it should be. Dana Smith reports.
Former Deputy Prime Minister Frank Watson said the departures of MPs Nico Grant, Theo Neely, and Dr. Andre Rollins send a message that there may still be some level of instability within the Free National Movement. Questions have persisted as to the FNM's ability to provide a strong alternative to the PLP in the next general election. Following its national convention back in July, the party has continued to struggle to unite. And in recent weeks, there's been a slew of departures from the lineup of confirmed and potential candidates for the next general election, including 3 incumbents, Neely, Grant, and Rollins.
Almost at every period in an upcoming election, some people will decide not to continue in politics. But when it comes like it did with these 3 people, it tends to send a message that maybe there's some instability in the party.
Watson noted that for months, the FNM has been plagued by reports of party infighting linked to anxiety surrounding the leadership of Dr. Hubert Minnis. He suggested the MP's departures could be linked to leadership concerns within the FNM.
There was a genuine feeling that maybe on the part of some people that maybe Mr. Minnis was not the right person to win the election for us. But at the convention, the party leaders determined that they were going with him.
Rollins has already said if Minnis were to remain leader of the FNM, he would not seek another nomination. Grant, who was also among the dissenting 6 MPs seeking to oust Minnis, announced his decision to bow out last month. Neely, who has also voiced issues with the party's leadership, said last week he decided not to run again for personal reasons. While FNM MPs Loretta Butler Turner and Hubert Chipman have said they will run again in their constituencies. And although there have been talks within party circles about Montague MP Richard Lightbourne bowing out, he said he's not going anywhere.
We should be in the field, all the candidates, certainly by the end of October, and that gives us at least 6 months of campaigning. It would have been nice to have more time, but that's what you got, so you got to use it.
Reporting for our news, I'm Dana Smith.
Thanks, Dana. Well, another Free National Movement candidate has announced he's withdrawing from the race. South Beach candidate Howard Johnson said in a statement he's relinquishing his candidacy due to personal and private family matters which require his constant presence and attention. His statement comes after Johnson initially took to social media denying the Nassau Guardian's front page story, which confirmed his departure. The Nassau Guardian wrote that Johnson plans to move to the United States to further focus on his son's education. But Johnson took to Facebook today, saying, "To all you gossip mongers and rumor spreaders, I am leaving no stone unturned to get rid of Cleola Hamilton and the PLP. Johnson said he finds it repulsive and disturbing that personal and private information about his son would make it to print in a reputable mainstream media news source. In his official statement, Johnson apologized for his emotional response and issued an apology to Guardian News reporter Jamie Pinder, who received negative comments and feedback after Johnson's Facebook post. Johnson said despite his candidacy withdrawal, he remains committed to the FNM. He also thanked the party's leader and the Constituency Association. Read more about Johnson's withdrawal in tomorrow's Nassau Guardian. While former deputy leader of the Free National Movement, Brent Simonetti, is brushing off claims that the decision of some FNM MPs and candidates to drop out of frontline politics will hurt the party's chances of winning the next general election. Simonetti says at this point the PLP has done such a bad job running the country, the FNM is the only viable solution. Our Jasmine Brown has the details. Jasmine?
Thanks, Christina. Simonetti spoke candidly today, insisting the FNM is still a viable alternative to the Christie administration. Critics have called the latest FNM Shake Up a blow for the party following July's contentious convention. But Simonetti says the PLP should be the last to criticize anyone, considering what he terms the government's failure to adequately address the many issues currently facing the country.
Don't for 1 minute think that the Progressive Liberal Party don't have their difficulties. You know, they have more problems than the FNM. They can't even run a country, let alone run their own party. So, I mean, notwithstanding this, Bradley Roberts keeps spouting off in the newspaper.
As for the state of the FNM, Simonetti insists it is not a weakened party. He added that the decision of those who have decided not to run is not alarming, as he says it's all a part of politics.
I think the FNM is a viable solution, notwithstanding what you're going to read here, that this one doesn't want to run or this one's running and this thing and that thing. That's usual midterm.
Simonetti says moving forward, the FNM will ramp up its campaign and voters can expect to see much more from the opposition as the campaign season heats up.
The FNM will roll out its full slate of candidates. I would imagine there'll be some more announced in short order, I don't know. They will also roll out their platform. They'll also show that they are, by reason of what they're wanting to do with their platforms, a viable alternative to the current administration.
Simonetti says moving forward, the FNM must now choose candidates who connect with voters. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Jasmine. In other news, it was a dark weekend on New Providence as Bahamas Power and Light revealed that it had been experiencing generation issues since last Thursday evening. Our Simone Davis spoke with several residents today who say they are frustrated with rolling blackouts. Here's her report.
Residents are up in arms with BPL after being forced to spend much of the weekend without electricity for hours at a time. According to the company's official Facebook page, blackouts began on Thursday evening. In a post, the company said, as a result of one of our main generators experiencing a challenge and needing repairs, we encountered outages in several areas. Some sections of each area affected have been restored. Due to an overload, another generator experienced a challenge, resulting in eastern and western outages. By midnight, power shall be restored to all of New Providence. Affected areas included Blair Estates, Rosetta Street, Kennedy Subdivision, Yamacraw, Mackey Street, Marathon, Elizabeth Estates, and John F. Kennedy Drive. Residents took to social media to express their frustrations with the power outages. One resident complained that he had been without electricity for 30 hours. Another Facebook user said it is simply unacceptable for residents to be continuously disconnected for company issues. Others said they did not want to open their windows or doors during the outages because they feared the Zika virus. Our news also took to the streets today to speak with residents who were affected by the outages.
I was very affected because then I lost cable. I couldn't get no ice. I couldn't get no air conditioning. I couldn't get nothing.
Another resident said he was mortified that there was an outage the night before school opened.
Just the day before school opened, no, my wife, she was hysterical. Disappointed, very disappointed.
Those residents called for the government to intervene.
BPL need to get, or the government, like I say, the government job is to either get BPL out the damn country, I'm sorry for saying, out the country, and bring in somebody would make sense. Because they're not making any sense. You might as well leave the easiest the way it was.
And we understand what they're talking about. They said that the stuff are old. I don't understand why it was sold. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem to be any upgrade or change in any way. So very, very disappointing.
When contacted for comment and an update on the generation issues, BPL officials said they have no comment at this time. Reporting for our news, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, a budget of $30 million has been identified for the fight against the Zika virus in the Bahamas over the next year. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Glenn Bennaby revealed as much during a meeting of tourism stakeholders today, explaining that cooperation is key in the fight against the mosquito-borne virus. Dr. Benaby says a team from the Ministry of Health began planning for the virus before it threatened the Bahamas.
Under the direction of Dr. Percival McNeil, who has coordinated that effort, they have developed the first budget with the understanding that the budget is in the region of about $2.5 million a month. But this is going to be subject to variation based on what we find.
Since the first recorded case of Zika in the Bahamas last month, the budget had to be adjusted. Benaby says part of the allocated funding will go toward upgrading the current laboratory to allow testing samples and suspected cases in country. The Bahamas is currently one of several Caribbean countries relying on the Caribbean Public Health Agency, or CARPHA, for testing.
I would like to believe that we are going to be ahead of the curve. Things are going to be done in such a manner that we will not need any more. Indeed, we will need less, but that is optimism. It's going to cost us somewhere in the region of $50,000 to $100,000 to set up. It's not setting up, it's modification of the lab situation. We have a lab already. Fortunately, we have skilled people in country who can do the testing that needs to be done. And so we had to purchase the equipment, upgrade the space, and hopefully that'll be done very soon.
That lab will in part help to reduce the wait time for test results. Health officials say it currently takes between 2 and 3 weeks to receive Zika results from CARPHA, located in Trinidad.
It'll be at least more than 50%. But of course, that turnaround time will be determined by the number of tests and how long, and it takes a learning curve to get it done. But it'll be less than a week, I will anticipate.
Dr. Benaby says he is very optimistic as the country moves toward universal health care that members of the public will see how important cooperation is.
By dealing with the Zika virus, unfortunate though it may be, it'll become very clear how positive you can get results when the community step forward and take their role.
Still to come on our news.
2 men accused of the murder of John Pinder's son are brought before the magistrate's court. That's coming up straight ahead.
And it may be too early to determine if the Zika virus is impacting tourism locally. Stay with us.